substance that's used to kill, prevent, and destroy pests. Pesticides include insecticides, herbicides, fungicides, and rodenticides. This map shows the severity of annual pesticide consumption worldwide. As we can see, China consumes the most amount of pesticides in the world at 1,806 millions of kilograms, followed by the US, and then Canada in the 8th spot at 54 million kilograms.
Great.
So do you know how many pesticides are in the average human body?
I guess 10?
No, there's actually 29 different types of pesticides in the average human body.
Wow.
Health Canada's Pest Management Regulatory Agency, known as PMRA, is responsible for pesticide regulation in Canada under the Authority of Pest Control Products Act.
70% of conventionally grown fruits and vegetables contain up to 230 different pesticides. Strawberries are the worst fruits. They contain about 20 different pesticides, whereas spinach is the worst vegetable, as it contains about twice the amount of pesticides as other fruits and vegetables. So what health risks are associated with pesticides on our produce? Well, there's Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, asthma, and many different types of cancers linked to the use of pesticides. Once these toxic pesticides are released into the environment, they're no longer able to be controlled. They spread through our water and air, resulting in pollution. Irrigating at a rate that is higher than the infiltration rate of soil promotes runoff that can carry pesticides with it. Irrigation promotes frequent downward movement of water beyond the root zone of plants, also promotes the leaching of pesticides to groundwater. In a study of groundwater wells in agricultural southwestern Ontario, Canada, 30% of the wells tested positive for pesticides on at least one occasion. When farmers use these harsh pesticides on our produce, resulting in the pollution of all aspects of our environment, the Catholic social teaching of caring for God's creations is not being followed.
I'm confused. Why can't the agriculture industry go completely organic?
There are currently 1.5 billion hectares under agricultural production around the world. That's an area roughly the size of Australia. Organic agriculture is currently practiced on about 1% of that land. As the world population increases to 9 billion people by 2050, this will require agricultural production to increase by 50%. Because organic yields are lower, double the amount of land must be converted to crops, on top of changing practices of most of the 1.5 billion hectares already in production. Acquiring organic certification is very expensive. Employees must be hired to maintain strict daily record keeping that must be available for inspection at any time. Organic farms must pay an annual inspection and certification fee, which starts at $400 to $2,000 a year, depending on the agency and size of the operation.
Go. But what about the effect on the honeybees?
Crop pollination by honeybees play an essential role in the production of most fruits and vegetables. Ever since the colonial collapse disorder was first identified, 50 to 90% of bees across the United States have been lost. This is due to the family of pesticides known as neonicotinoids. Once this pesticide is absorbed by the plant, it enters the bee through the pollination process. I believe riparian buffers can be used to help remove pesticides from our waterways. Pesticides move to surface waters primarily through surface runoff. To effectively remove the sediment and other pollutants, we need to design a buffer that sufficiently slows the runoff water to allow sediment to settle before it reaches a stream. Contour farming is a sustainable way of farming where farmers plant crops across or perpendicular to slopes to follow the contours of a slope of a field. This arrangement of plants breaks up the flow of water and makes it harder for soil erosion to occur. Crop rotation is the practice of not growing crops where they've been planted in the previous year. This practice prevents the buildup of pests and diseases and optimizes the use of soil nutrients.
Now that I want to get involved, what can I do at the local level?
I recommend that we as consumers start buying locally grown produce. Many local food producers choose to use organic and natural pest repellents to preserve the health of the food they distribute. Foods produced by large-scale agricultural operations are often mass sprayed with pesticides. Food miles is a term used to describe the distance that food has traveled from the place it was produced to the place it will be sold to the consumer. This transportation causes great carbon emissions. Reducing food miles helps alleviate our dependence on fossil fuels, reduce air pollution, and cut back on greenhouse gas emissions. The organization Toxics Action Center has a mission to work side by side with communities to empower them with the skills and resources needed to prevent and clean up pollution at the local level. They believe that pesticides harm more than the weeds and pests they're designed to kill. This organization encourages us to take the pesticide-free pledge to hold us accountable for our actions and to do our part at the local level to achieve a toxic-free future.